The 1920s, a decade of dramatic change, a time of jazz, flappers, and speakeasies. It was the roaring 20s, but behind the glamour, a darker side brewed. Prohibition was in full swing. This gave rise to the bootlegger. In Brooklyn, one name rose above the rest: Vannie Higgins. Charismatic, ruthless, and ambitious. He built an empire on illegal booze. He had cops and politicians in his pocket. He was the king of Brooklyn, but rival gangs threatened his reign. He fought bloody turf wars. This is the untold story of Vannie Higgins, a tale of ambition, betrayal, and murder, a glimpse into the dark underbelly of a turbulent era. Charles Higgins was born in 1882, a time when the streets of Brooklyn were bustling with immigrants seeking a better life. He grew up in the tough Irish slums of South Brooklyn, where poverty and hardship were a daily reality. Crime was a way out for many young men. It offered a sense of belonging and a chance to escape poverty. He moved up the ranks, gaining a reputation for his toughness and cunning. He joined the White Hand Gang, a notorious group that controlled much of the waterfront. Prohibition started in 1920, banning the sale and production of alcohol. He saw the potential to make a fortune by smuggling whiskey from Canada and the Caribbean. He wasn't afraid to use violence to protect his business. Higgins' ruthlessness and business acumen paid off, allowing him to expand his operations. Prohibition transformed New York City. Speakeasies sprung up everywhere. Illegal booze flowed freely. It was a time of immense profit for gangsters like Vannie Higgins. Higgins controlled a vast network of speakeasies and saloons. He had a fleet of trucks and speedboats to transport his illicit liquor. He bribed police and politicians to look the other way. He became immensely wealthy and influential. His flagship product was Higgins' Special Reserve. This was a potent blend of whiskey that was highly sought after in speakeasies across the city. He ruthlessly eliminated anyone who dared to challenge his dominance. Higgins' ruthlessness was legendary. He was known for his short temper and violent outbursts. He was feared by his rivals and respected by his associates. He was a true force to be reckoned with. The lucrative world of bootlegging was not without its conflicts. Vannie Higgins found himself clashing with other powerful gangsters. His most bitter rivalry was with Dutch Schultz. Schultz, a ruthless German gangster, controlled the Bronx and parts of Manhattan. He saw Higgins' expanding empire as a threat. Their rivalry escalated into a bloody turf war. The streets of New York became battlegrounds. Shootouts between their gangs were common. Innocent bystanders often got caught in the crossfire. The body count rose steadily. One particularly notorious incident was the Valentine's Day Massacre in 1929. While not directly linked to Higgins, the massacre, orchestrated by Al Capone, sent shockwaves through the underworld. It served as a chilling reminder of the brutality of the era. Section 5. The People's Choice. Higgins' public image and political connections. Despite his criminal activities, Vannie Higgins cultivated a surprisingly positive public image. He was seen by many as a Robin Hood figure. He provided jobs and helped the poor in his community. He was known for his generosity, often slipping money to struggling families. He hosted lavish parties, inviting both the elite and ordinary folks. He understood the importance of public perception. Higgins also had powerful friends in high places. He made generous donations to charities and political campaigns. He had judges, police officers, and politicians on his payroll. He used his influence to stay one step ahead of the law. This made him a difficult target for law enforcement. His connections and influence shielded him from serious prosecution. He seemed untouchable. Section 6. Betrayal and Bullets. The assassination of Vannie Higgins. Vannie Higgins, despite his power and influence, had made many enemies. His reign at the top of Brooklyn's underworld would come to a dramatic and violent end. On the evening of July 23, 1931, Higgins was at his usual haunt, the Argyle restaurant in Brooklyn. He was enjoying a late-night meal with some of his associates. He felt safe and secure. Suddenly, 3 gunmen burst into the restaurant. They opened fire on Higgins and his men. Higgins, caught off guard, didn't stand a chance. He was riddled with bullets. The gunmen escaped into the night. Higgins' men were either dead or wounded. The brazen assassination sent shockwaves through New York City. The King of Brooklyn was dead. Section 7. The Investigation. Unraveling the Conspiracy and the Suspects. The assassination of Vannie Higgins was a sensation. The newspapers were filled with stories about the slain gangster. The police were under immense pressure to find the killers. The investigation was complex and dangerous. Witnesses were too afraid to talk. The code of silence in the underworld was strong. The police had to tread carefully. Several theories emerged. Some believed that Dutch Schultz, Higgins' arch-rival, was behind the hit. Others suspected corrupt cops or disgruntled former associates. Despite their efforts, the police were never able to definitively pin the murder on anyone. The case went cold. The identity of Vannie Higgins' killers remains a mystery to this day.